Hi students, I'm under our techniques pane in classwork on Google Classroom, and I'm going to go over white balance. White balance is a process in photography by which we try to get accurate color representation in our images, either through our camera initially or through Photoshop. Now, there's a lot of technical facets to this, and I personally am not as interested in regurgitating all the technical facets of it to you, because I find that it's very easy to research this and find plenty of resources, many of which I've listed here to explain it more in depth, and frankly, I'm not sure many of us will need to go that in depth into understanding it, but understanding it on a certain level will undoubtedly give you a leg up on getting better photos and giving you some latitude and leeway in editing. So you can either get the images in true color, the way that they should be seen, the way that you saw them when you were looking at them without the camera, or by knowing what true color would be and intentionally altering that in order to demonstrate some effect or for some way of communicating an idea. Now, color temperature is a really important thing because every light source we know of emits a different kind of a color temperature, and we're specifically dealing with how warm or cool that temperature is. So when we're in camera, we have the ability, and many of you have maybe seen this. I'll go to this Cambridge Colors. I'll go to this link and show you that many of you, when messing with white balance in your camera, might recognize some of these icons. A lot of you have auto white balance. Many of you guys on your cameras have a custom white balance, and then you can set the kelvins. Kelvins is what is the unit of measure for measuring color temperature. And then there are some standards like tungsten, fluorescent, daylight, flash, cloudy, shade. These are all color casts that you can tune or dial your camera into if you know your light source. The issue with a lot of this often is that we're not always in a single light source situation. So outdoor we might be in one, but indoor often we find ourselves in a situation where there's a mixture of different light sources, either coming in through a window, we might get daylight, or you might have both fluorescent and tungsten bulbs in the same situation. Now, the reason why people want maybe to in-camera white balance before they start shooting is that often that dials down the amount of labor involved in post-production, and so you're not having to fix every single image and labor in that way. Now you can imagine maybe you're photographing an event, maybe a wedding or something like that, and you have an opportunity to go into that wedding and you know you're going to be shooting 300, 400, 500 or more images. It'd be really nice to have a handle on the potential light sources in that situation so you can dial them in and not spend as much time and labor white balancing your images after the fact, which might cut into the amount of money you might make on that wedding. So keep all of that in mind. I go through here and give you general settings on a Nikon, how to do it. There's tools that can help you here and resources. Please go through these. That definitely will help. I put the Ken Rockwell one up front, but the image I want you to look at here is a general cheat sheet that gives you an idea of a single image here that's been dissected based on the camera settings that were dialed in and the cast that temperature cast that would be overlaid onto that image. So if you told your camera that you were taking a photograph with a flash and you didn't use the flash, you would get a resulting warm cast on there. Or maybe you told your camera that your light source was incandescent when it's actually daylight. It will cast this blue onto your, or coolness onto your image. This is a little cheat sheet, and in addition, oh, where did I go? There we are. In addition to doing this all in camera, if you don't and you use auto white balance, you might come close. A lot of newer cameras are getting more and more accurate and sophisticated at this, but I've also made a YouTube playlist of doing this in Photoshop. Now, I'm not going to go through and demo this because these are demos, but I put them in order of my preference here. Notice I also added a histogram video here explaining histograms, which I did separately as well. But notice that I have ordered these in terms of preference in not necessarily ease, but effectiveness. So go ahead, look at these. These are multiple techniques that are used in order to gain and alter or fixing, it says, altering the white balance in your images within Photoshop. I hope this helps, and let me know if you have any questions.